Hello, and welcome to Secret Calls on Infidelity Whispers, a place where voices are heard, secrets are safe, and the truth is told without judgment. Here, we bring you anonymous confessions from real people, stories of love, betrayal, silence, and survival. Every call is raw, every voice is real. Whether you've been betrayed, broken, or just need to know you're not alone, you are in the right place. Subscribe now and join us each week as we listen, reflect, and heal one secret at a time. I'm your host, Sophie. Let's get connected. Hello, you're live on Secret Calls. Who am I speaking with tonight?
Hi, I'd rather stay anonymous, if that's okay.
Of course, you're in a safe space here. Take your time, we're listening. Feel free to share your story with us.
I'm 54 years old, and this story has been eating me alive. Today is the first time I've had the courage to talk about it. Back in 2022, my daughter-in-law gave birth to her second child. Shortly after, she got into a fight with my son and left to stay with her mother for 6 months. I thought it was just a normal couple's argument. But later, I found out something that shattered everything she had been sleeping with my husband all along.
You mean your daughter-in-law was having a sexual relationship with your husband, her father-in-law?
Yes, and I had no idea. I trusted them both. After 6 months, my husband kept pushing me and my son to contact her, to ask her to come back home. My son is a very passive man. He went and apologized to her, but she looked him in the face and said, "If you want me to come back, you have to kneel and apologize to me and my mother." He couldn't do it. He came home empty-handed. Then my husband turned to me and said, "Fine, then you go and bring her back." So I did, and she came back.
And what happened after she returned?
She changed completely. She acted superior. She took over everything in the house, and she was way too close to my husband, way too close. I started noticing things, watching, quietly. By 2023, they kicked me out of the family dining table. Now, I was no longer allowed to eat with them. One day I said to her gently, "Dear, let your father-in-law and me join the family dinner." She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Is he even your husband anymore? Why should you eat with him?" I responded, "Ask anyone. Isn't he still my husband?" And she screamed, "If you had a husband and couldn't keep him, then go kill your damn self."
And I don't even know what to say. What did you do then?
I told my husband I was going out for the evening, but in reality, I just walked around for 30 minutes and came back quietly. Only my husband and my daughter-in-law were home. My son was at work. I opened the front door. I heard noises from the bedroom. I walked softly, peeked through the slightly open door, and I saw them having sex.
You saw them?
Yes, I froze. My hands were shaking. My heart dropped. It felt like a nightmare, except I was wide awake. I saw my husband, a man I'd loved for decades, in bed with the woman who married my son. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I just stood there, numb.
And after that?
I left, quietly. I didn't confront them that day. I filed for divorce. It's been 6 months now. I live alone. I've been spending time at a temple, chanting, trying to find peace, but inside, I still don't know what to do. A part of me, stupid as it sounds, still wonders if I should try to go back. I feel so alone.
You're caught in a web of betrayal, not just from your husband, but from the very woman you treated like a daughter. And the most heartbreaking part is, your son, he has no idea.
No, he's not entirely mentally sound, but he functions. He does manual labor, he's aware, but this he doesn't know. He still respects his father. He still wants his wife to come home. He has no idea that his wife is sleeping with his father.
Let me bring in our resident therapist, Dr. Brian. He'll help you unpack all of this.
Okay, I've listened closely, and honestly, everything is crystal clear. Like Sophie said, your husband is no longer a husband. Your son, bless him, is lost, and your daughter-in-law is beyond disgrace. I've worked in counseling for years. I've heard a lot, but cases like this, they're rare. And when they happen, there's usually some shame, some regret. Sometimes it's a drunken mistake. Father-in-law and daughter-in-law cross the line once, then stop out of guilt. But in your case, they're doing it openly, shamelessly. And to make it worse, they're mocking you. That woman had the nerve to say, "Is he even your husband anymore?" Go kill your damn self. There are no words for that. There's no fixing this. What is there to go back to your husband the moment you were out of the picture? He went straight to your son's wife. He didn't just cheat. He betrayed his son, humiliated you, and broke the family in ways that can't be repaired. Let's be honest, men can be lustful. But humans are different from animals in one basic way. We know there are lines we must never cross. Your husband crossed every single one. And your son, he's the biggest victim in all of this. He's trusting, gentle, not very quick. He still believes his dad is a good man. He thinks his wife is just moody. He has no clue that the two people he loves most are betraying him behind his back in his own house. That is a kind of cruelty I can barely describe. You've already escaped. Don't go back. Don't convince yourself this is salvageable. You're 54. That's not old. You're still strong. If you can work even just a little, do it. You said you used to clean houses, watch kids, help in the kitchen, then do it again.
Yes, I can still do those things.
Then do it. 1. Make your own money. 2. Stay far from that house. 3. Keep yourself out of the poison that is that family now, because that house, it's not a home anymore. It's a stage for your humiliation. And every time you walk through that door, you'll die a little inside. You've suffered enough. And hear me when I say this, you are not the one who failed. They failed you. Now it's your turn to take your life back.
You heard him. I hope his words stay with you. You are not weak for surviving. You are strong for choosing to walk away.
Thank you. I've never told this story to anyone before, but today I finally let it out, and I feel lighter.
Thank you for trusting Secret Calls on Infidelity Whispers with your truth tonight. These aren't just stories, they're the breaking points, where betrayal doesn't come from a stranger, but from the very people we built our lives around. Tonight, we heard from a woman who lost everything she thought was sacred: her marriage, her home, and even her place at the family table. When the betrayal comes from both sides, a husband and a daughter-in-law, forgiveness isn't weakness, but neither is walking away. This story reminds us some relationships are not meant to be repaired. Some betrayals do not deserve redemption. You don't have to stay just because you've stayed before. You don't have to keep giving chances to people who keep taking your dignity. Healing doesn't always come through reconciliation. Sometimes it comes through saying, "This is not love. This is not family, and I deserve better." If you've ever felt erased inside your own home or silenced in a place where you should have been safe, this story is for you. Let us know in the comments. Would you have left? Could you have stayed? Or is there no going back after a betrayal like this? Share this episode with someone who may be suffering in silence, because hearing a story like this might give them the words they didn't know they were allowed to say. And if you're carrying something that no one else knows, our line is always open. When you're ready, your voice will matter here too. Until next time, I'm Sophie, and I want to leave you with this. No betrayal can take your worth away. You are still whole, even after someone tried to break you. Take care of your heart and remember you're never truly alone.